Journey to the Savage Planet was a title, guys, that I've played myself, and it kind of reminds me of other games out there. It reminds me of a much smaller, like No Man's Sky, and has kind of its own flavor and twist to this genre. But with that, guys, I want to talk about Journey to the Savage Planet, and could we potentially get a sequel at some point or another to this title? Because this is one that I've gotten some questions about, and people have been asking, people who love Journey to the Savage Planet have been asking the question, will we get a sequel to this? So will we ever see a Journey to the Savage Planet 2? Let's talk about it. So guys, just to give some context here, this is a title that, of course, came out in 2020 as an adventure game. That came out this year, guys, in January. Came out on the Nintendo Switch in May, on May 21st. And so, guys, this is a title that's on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, as well as Xbox One, which, of course, like I said, Nintendo Switch also got a version a little bit earlier this year as well. So this is a title that, in my opinion, if you want to look at will we ever see a sequel to it, there's two things that come up. Number one is obviously the sales, the amount of sales that the game is doing. Is it doing well? Is it not so much? And number two is, at the end of the day, the reception. What type of reviews is a title getting? Those are the two main things that come into play when a developer decides to make another game or not. So let's, talk about that, because what we can look at this point in time, guys, is the reception. So this is a title that was developed by Typhoon Studios. The publisher is 505 Games. And the reception for this game, the Xbox One and Windows versions, received generally positive reviews according to review aggregator Metacritic, while the PlayStation 4 received mixed reviews. Now, what I will say, guys, is I played it on Xbox, and I will say that there were some, frame rates and things of that nature that were a little bit off at times, some bugs and things of that sort. However, overall, I really enjoyed the concepts in the game. Some things I didn't think really hit, where they were trying to go with it, but I think there's definitely a foundation here of where they could maybe move in the future. So, according to Metacritic on PC, it was 76 out of 100, PS4 74 out of 100, and Xbox One 76 out of 100. So you're talking definitely above average reviews. Now, when you look at the review scores from Destructoid, 8.5 out of 10, pretty good. GameSpot gave it a 7 out of 10. IGN gave it a 6 out of 10, still a little bit above average there. And then, of course, PC Gamer gave it an 84 out of 100. So let's just say, guys, you had average to positive reviews overall. And I would say it was more positive than not so much. But at the end of the day, that's the first step. If you got some pretty positive reception, or at least average to positive, you got something to work with here. Now you've got a company, of course, in Typhoon Studios that can go ahead and take what they did right, what they did wrong, and what they can do different moving forward in Journey to the Savage Planet 2. And so the second part of it, guys, is sales, and is the developer going to work on another title like Journey to the Savage Planet 2 at some point or another? So Typhoon Studios, we really have to look at this company to really kind of dictate whether or not we believe a Journey to the Savage Planet 2 is really in the cards. So guys, as far as the history is concerned here, Typhoon Studios is a Canadian video game development company based in Montreal, Canada. It was founded by former employees of Ubisoft, EA, as well as Warner Brothers Games Montreal in January of 2017. So the studio, guys, has not been around for that long, and they've really actually started to build somewhat of a resume. But the studio was acquired by Google Stadia in December of 2019. So this is a huge deal. This is really very big that Google Stadia acquired them. So what could that mean about Journey to the Savage Planet 2? Well, the studio, of course, was founded by Alex Hutchinson in 2017, as well as Yasin Riani and Reed Schneider. On December 6, 2018, at the Game Awards 2018, the studio presented the trailer of their first project called Journey to the Savage Planet, a first-person game focused on a world of aliens full of creatures, in which the main mission of the player is to explore the planet for the displacement of the human colony. And then, of course, guys, Google, under their Stadia brand, acquired Typhoon in December of 2019. Jade Raymond, head of Stadia's Games and Entertainment Division, said that Typhoon has shown AAA quality work in a short time and will be using Typhoon to help develop additional content for the Stadia program or platform, and Journey to the Savage Planet was not part of the acquisition. So what does that mean? Well, it's kind of hard to say. So when you see Journey to the Savage Planet was not part of the acquisition, Typhoon can maybe work on that on the sidelines. They can work on that on their own. But at the same time, they got bought out by Stadia and really Google at the end of the day. And, you know, obviously Google and Stadia are going to want them to be working on things for their platform. So to be honest, guys, it's kind of looking a little bit bleak, in my opinion, that Journey to the Savage Planet 2 will happen anytime soon, because Typhoon is going to be so focused on, you know, the Stadia brand and really kind of probably adding more, you know, just exclusive titles for them. And Journey to the Savage Planet, the one title that they've really worked on in a major way at this point in time as a studio, I mean, could they bring it out at some point? It's interesting that that wasn't a part of the acquisition. Maybe Google didn't want them to work on a second game. Maybe they just didn't think it was worth it. Or Typhoon said, no, we want to still have, you know, full control of Journey to the Savage Planet. So could Journey to the Savage Planet turn into something like No Man's Sky, where they're consistently adding more and more to it over time? That's possible. I just think that when you look at this, and Typhoon Studios being bought out by Google, and Google Stadia in particular, that's really telling me that they're going to be working on, you know, all the content for the Stadia platform, exclusive content to Stadia. And so I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like. Could it be a Journey to the Savage Planet 2? Maybe at some point, but right now, guys, I don't think there's going to be any, you know, any end in sight when it comes to the second, you know, game in this game, or to this title. And so at the same time, Journey to the Savage Planet did get a DLC earlier this year. It's probably going to get a couple other DLCs at some point or another. I'm hoping they do make a second game, but that's the second part of this. It doesn't really even, to me, come down to the sales of Journey to the Savage Planet as much as it does that Typhoon Studios got bought out by Google Stadia. So with that, let me know, guys, what do you think? Do you think we're ever going to see a Journey to the Savage Planet 2, or do you think they'll kind of just consistently update it, make it better and a better experience, similar to like No Man's Sky? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Journey to the Savage Planet content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.